Morning, everybody. It's Sean Shapiro from Traffic Services. I'm joined by my used-to-be sergeant, Jason Kraft, and we're talking about stuff and things. A lot to do with the fact that Jason has just transferred out of traffic safety programs, has gone down to a platoon here at Traffic Services, and we want to sort of recap some of the things we've done. I'm going to hit the button here and go onto TikTok in the background as well, on the VoiceOver Cop channel, and before we get into things, let's talk about that all-important Vision Zero enforcement team. Today, they are at 32 Division and 41 Division. And for those who don't know what Vision Zero is, they're a group of dedicated officers who are out to change the hearts and minds. They're there to issue tickets focusing on the Big Four. That Big Four, that's speeding, aggressive driving, distracted driving, and impaired driving. It's the folks that are going to be conducting or choosing to what's the word I'm looking for? Do stuff that goes to serious injury and death. I'm having a loss for words right now. And those are the behaviors. That's what it is. The driving behaviors that lead to serious injury and death on our roadways. And their goal is to reduce that. So if you don't want to meet them, you don't want to drive and break the rules. So there you go. Now, I'll put the overlay in because there's folks in the chat room already. This is a live show. If you go onto the chat room on any one of the platforms that we're currently streaming onto, you will be able to participate and chat with us. So a couple of things. We got Sarge from the Leo Wife says, congratulations on the move. You'll be missed. And he will be missed. We're already feeling it.
I'm still here.
He's still here. In fact, we will see you more. I don't know. Then Jason, is 65 and a 50 a Highway Traffic Act offense?
Most times it is. Actually, all times it is. It's an offense under the Highway Traffic Act. It's speeding. And we need to obey the rules of the road, particularly when it comes to speeding, because speeding is one of our most repeated offenses and speed kills.
It is, and people make all sorts of arguments that it's not a big deal. I just got to get where I got to go, and it's a thing. It's when you increase the speed, you increase the potential severity of injuries in the event of a collision, and you actually increase the odds of becoming involved in a collision because of a reduced, reaction time and all sorts of reasons why you don't want to be doing the speed. There's a reason speeds are set what they are, and in fact, we're reducing the speeds across the city because we want to make it. Because we accept that collisions happen. The minor collisions, fender benders, they're going to happen. But when you increase the speeds, those fender benders turn into serious collisions, and people get hurt and die. So let's talk about. Where you're going. You're now going to be on a platoon, and your team is going to be doing different stuff.
Right. So I've moved on from our traffic safety programs unit and our media relations unit, but I'm still attached to traffic services. I'm downstairs in what we refer to as the PRU. It used to be called the primary response unit. I believe we now refer to it as the priority response unit for traffic services. And we're one of 5 platoons that service the city at all hours of the day, all days of the week. And in all areas of the city. Any major collisions that result in bodily harm or, in some cases, death, traffic services frontline officers are the ones that respond and investigate that collision, do the initial investigation. And I'll be one of the supervisors that'll manage the teams that take care of those serious investigations.
And additionally, they also issue tickets and support by way of, issuing tickets to change behaviors, again, trying to get people to do the right thing. And I like to say that lucky people get caught. Lucky people get caught because it's an opportunity for a police officer to possibly change your way of thinking or driving that could save your life or the life of another.
Definitely. It's just as important. It's important work that we do. So when the officers aren't investigating collisions, they have this unstructured time, and they do proactive activities and tactics that will hopefully change behavior over time. We always talked about when we're in the office, community engagement is important, education is important. Another element of importance in reducing the amount of collisions that we see on our roads is enforcement, and our officers do engage in enforcement activities in hopes to change that behavior over time.
So that's engagement in person, and then there's the engagement we do on social media, and you and I have been working together on that for a while now, and we've had amazing success. I mean, we have together created this whole presence on TikTok and YouTube and things we weren't doing before that we are now very busy with. So
Definitely.
I want to thank you for all the support that you've
No,
given.
I want to thank you.
No,
I
I want to
apologize
thank
for
you.
talking. No, thank you, because if it wasn't for you, we probably wouldn't be where we are today. And just to back up a little bit, the pandemic changed how we do business, not only in policing, but for everyone in all sectors. We used to do our community engagement and our education through our trade shows, actually attending shows and reaching a limited number of people and having those interactions, and hopefully in hopes of changing behavior or providing awareness and education uh, towards road safety. And as a result of the pandemic and the cancellation of road shows, we quickly pivoted in our office. And thanks to Sean and his technical background and expertise, we were able to acquire the equipment, the understanding, the knowledge, so that we can continue to deliver these safety messages to a broader audience. And I think you've done very well since March,
Yeah,
particularly on TikTok.
we're not bad. We're at 167,000 followers on
Amazing,
TikTok. It's wild. I
right?
mean, we had a video that we posted yesterday that has over 200, I think 250,000 views. So we've seen tremendous success. But you keep saying thank you. No, no, no. It's a support. It's a
We're
support. You made it happen. Like I wouldn't be able to do this without you. So it's very much a team thing.
this show's going to be about me thanking you and you thanking me by the looks of it. But at the end of the day, we want to thank everybody who tunes in and listens to the important messages, the key messages that Sean continues to reiterate on all the platforms. And hopefully, you'll tell two friends or family members that'll tell two friends, and then we'll exponentially grow and create safer roads in our city and elsewhere, because our audience is beyond the city of Toronto, as you know. So.
Oh yeah, we're talking. We now, oddly enough, we constantly see messages that say, I might be from Ohio, but I tune in to watch because this is really interesting. We have
Yeah.
Australia, Germany, all sorts of folks
Amazing.
who tune in on a regular basis. There's characters. I say characters. There are creators that are on TikTok that have millions of views who tune in on a regular basis because they either find it interesting, funny, or it fuels them in some way. And we can't thank them enough
Yeah.
for participating with us. It's very cool.
And we have fun doing it as well.
Oh, there is an element
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
Yes.
We had a fun day one day, Sean, when we were videotaping the Gardner Expressway, and we might have provided some information, and we did it. It was just something we did at the moment, and it seemed to get a little bit of traction.
I think like 1 million views. I'm not sure exactly
Yeah.
how many, but yeah, we were out filming. So okay, so in terms of what we do as an office, the things that we're responsible for, we're kind of the Swiss Army knife. Aside from doing the safety programs, the community engagement, the social media content creation and deployment, the stuff like back to school campaigns. We do all of those things, and then we also do whatever the boss needs. And one of those things was to do a video in support of the good work that the Vision Zero team had done and was recognized. Yes, Vision Zero, absolutely. So they got recognized by the Canadian Association of Chiefs of Police, and we were tasked to create a video to basically explain what we did that could be used on the internet as a explanation video, explainer video. That's what it was.
That's
So
right.
we went out and did all sorts of B-roll, and one of those B-rolls was some traffic going by on the Gardner Expressway, and the video and what's going on here? Being told to put something up here. Cue the producer. I don't know why I can't do anything here. Oh, here we go.
Q&A on TikTok.
I got Q&A. Oh, here we go. Okay, we need the Traffic Services Toronto Police on YouTube tag on the business there. So what happened was we filmed this little thing, and people were going by and looking at us funny. So I said, "Hey, Sarge, what are we doing here?" And what did you say?
I said we're we're using this. We're leveraging technology. We have this automated speed enforcement camera, and we're going to catch speeders on our highways. And I'm going to be a witness and testify in court to the offenses. And we said we were kidding. We were joking. It was a conversation starter, to say the least.
Yeah.
And I don't think everybody caught the part that we were kidding, and had different reactions, mixed reactions. At the end of the day, people were talking about road safety. People were
Yeah.
talking about automated speed enforcement, which is a thing in the city of Toronto and other places. And any time that we can leverage technology to reduce the number of serious collisions on our city roads, we're going to do that. And thank you to the city for their automated speed enforcement project. And thank you for that opportunity for making that video go go around the block once or twice, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, got some good reactions. And again, had those conversations with individuals, communities, or families where they may not otherwise have taken place. So
And also reconnecting long lost friends, because how many people reached out to you and said, "Hey, I saw you on
that's right.
TikTok or on Six Buzz or on whatever
Yeah.
the place."
And it's still happening. And the most recent one was a family member at Costco says, "Hey, Jay, I haven't seen you in a while, but I saw you on TikTok. And what's up with those cameras in the city? Like, how are you going to prove I was driving the car?" And yeah, so it was funny.
And just to explain, I put the words "kidding" across the screen, and I put in the hashtags "kidding," "joke," "comedy." And
Yeah.
despite that, the trigger, the anger that people felt about the idea that the government or that the police was going to look at them with a camera and issue them a ticket for doing something that's against the law,
Right.
they were offended.
Yep.
And it is very interesting. And the words entrapment got thrown around a lot. So
Sure.
it was definitely interesting conversations. But we got over that.
Yep.
And I definitely see it as a win, but
For
not
sure.
everybody.
Yeah. We got people talking about traffic safety. Like I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. That would not otherwise be engaged or care less about traffic safety are now talking about traffic safety. And in part, it's the information that you're providing on a regular basis. It's timely. It's informative. It's what they need, and something that we're able to do with reach. So that's great. You keep
It's
up the
funny
work.
in talking about that. Like last night, we did this video as soon as we got information from the Ministry of Transportation talking about the updates as to the driver's license expiry and validation sticker expiry. And just for anyone who's watching who wants to know about that, hey, we got a great video on TikTok that talks about it. But
Yeah.
it's if your license expired after March 1st, 2020, and expires anytime into the future up until February 28th, 2022, well, you have to have it renewed before February 28th, 2022. And if your validation sticker, same situation, it's from March 1st, 2020, all the way to February 28th, 2022. Before that time expires, that's when the hard expiry date is in. There'll be no extension beyond that. Additionally, folks that are waiting to renew these things until some discount train comes, there's no break. The ministry is charging back to the original date and into the future a year. So there's no benefit to waiting. My suggestion, our suggestion, is that you go and take care of it. If you are under the age of 80, if you do not require a photograph to renew, you can do it online. For both of those, they'll mail it to you. No fuss, no muss. Get her done.
Right. So it was announced yesterday, was it, Sean? So we're about 5, 6 months notice. And when February does come, unfortunately, there will be some drivers or owners of vehicles that have expired validation stickers and whatnot. And there'll be officers out on the road, and that is an offense under the Highway Traffic Act. So
Yeah.
get it done sooner than later.
And just as a follow up, there's again the reason not to do it was originally to keep people safe and prevent you from needing to unnecessarily visit a Ministry of Transportation location. That's it. That was the reason it was done.
Right.
No discount, no nothing. So get it done. Save yourself the hassle. And once the I guess the moratorium when we stop this
Yes.
this pause on enforcement, that'll go away. And then don't be shocked if you get a ticket.
Right. I actually was able to do mine online for the family, so I didn't have to go to Service Ontario, wait in line or anything like that. I believe it was a service charge associated to that doing it online. Nonetheless, it was convenient for me, and that's the way I chose to do it. I got some new stickers on my vehicles, and I'm good to go.
I'll tell you the one benefit from, if you can say there's a benefit from having gone through this whole pandemic thing, which is by no means gone. It's still here. We're still dealing with it, but is that I do everything online now. I am happy to pay $5 not to wait in line. I'm happy to pay $5 not to go pick up groceries, even though my wife will say I'm not happy because I always want to bulk order to reduce paying double on those deliveries. But I'm more willing to pay for the service and appreciate the time of not waiting. So if it is a matter of safety concern or time concern, you may want to just deal with the online opportunity, which other companies and MTO alike have really honed their game. They're really on the ball when it comes to this stuff now.
Right.
And just because I know we didn't talk about it, we were talking about just licenses in general and validation stickers. And if you're a G1, G2, M1, or M2 driver, there's some more information for you. Your learning period will end, or the extension period. So if you expired from March 1st, 2020, all the way to December 31st, 2022. You're still good to go during that time. There's a huge discussion about getting your driver's tests booked, the in-car. It is happening. You can do it. You don't have to wait till 2024. People are giving us all sorts of comments about how it's impossible. If you are dedicated, if you wake up in the morning and you check that site and you check throughout the day, you're going to get some luck. It may not be the date you want, but it's going to be a date sooner than if you wait till all the good dates are taken every day and you show up at 6 p.m. going, I don't know why I can't find anything.
And if you need to book a road test, I'm following Teens Learn to Drive, and they're giving some good tips and secrets in regards to additional dates and locations, areas that are providing extra driving test opportunities for everyone. And again, just because you have until the end of the year or the end of next year to get your proper license or class change, you don't want to wait till the end.
Because at the end, as far as I know, and things could always change, there can always be an update, but as it stands right now, if you expire and you haven't got your G by December 31st, 2022, you start again. You can't renew unless things change. That's my understanding of how that game is played.
Right back to the G1 or G2?
That's a good question. I actually don't have an answer. It may be a G2, but my understanding is you can't renew a G2. It's a 5-year term, and you have to start again. But I don't know that for certain. I don't know. I mean, yeah. We won't go down there. But I was going to say, I can't relate to anyone who has a G1 for 5 years. I can't relate because when I turned 16, the day I turned 16, I was getting my 365, and I think 30 or 60 days later, I had a full G. Now, granted, no graduated licensing, but I was like, that was the only thing on my mind. I ate, slept. I mean, that was the only thing that was important to me was that freedom. Now, it was a different time. Transit wasn't available for me the way it's available for so many of us today.
Or Uber or taxi or...
Yeah.
Yep.
And taxis are expensive. I mean, I don't know about Uber, but taxis were expensive, especially when I was a kid making nothing. But I had that ability to have an old beater and drive a car because somehow that worked out financially. And additionally, I'd ridden my bicycle to the local Young Drivers of Canada to get my in-class done so I could go hit the ground running and be behind the wheel of a car. And so much of my life is being attributed to having my license. Like I also got my motorcycle license when I was 16. I'm a motor squad, or I was a motor squad officer because of it. I was a police officer capable of applying to be an auxiliary, and then a court officer, and finally a police officer, all because I had my G. Had I been waiting around, those job opportunities wouldn't have been there. So I'm very protective of my driver's license, which is why we don't break the law, because they can take things away from us.
That's right, because it's a privilege, right?
Yeah, and we get a lot of folks, a lot of comments, and it's fascinating to me to see the perspective of many of our viewers, especially on TikTok, share with us their belief that the roads aren't fast enough. We need to see higher speeds. Their technology is so good that it doesn't apply to them.
Right.
The producer Q came in. Producer Q said, "Drink." Yes.
Drink.
Yes. The deal is that we torture Q with breathing and living and dry mouth while we're talking. But Q, if you don't know who Q is, you're not watching us on social media enough, because Q is a volunteer. She is I've as of today started calling her the producer, but she is awesome, and she really helps us out, as do the rest of the moderator team. They're an amazing group of individuals who volunteer to help us out on social media. I've learned so much from them, and they make our success possible on the socials as well. And I mean specifically on here on this show, on the streaming, because QQ is a streamer. She's educated me a great deal, so I appreciate that. Sean Drinks Q asks, yes, there is that handoff. So on our TikTok hour, so we go on TikTok Mondays to Fridays. It's been 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. And it's been working pretty well in that time range. But we have the wonderful ability to have Q in my ear and now on screen, because we're doing a behind the scenes thing where people can actually see what they're seeing right now in the YouTube and see a different perspective. So it's pretty cool.
Can they see all the chat that we're seeing on our
screens? They can't see the private, but they can see the chat that you're seeing on screen with Canadian 5 and Angela Topping. And Angela Topping wants to be a mod. There you go. And speaking of mods and community and all the things that we're doing, we've actually we now have something called a Discord server, and I think I just put that, or maybe that's VZ locations. That's the wrong button. Discord server. Where are we? Hugh, help me out. Where's the here we go. Traffic Services Discord server. The Discord server is like a BBS. It's a community. There's 200 plus members in there, and there's people sharing pictures of their cats, and there's people talking about barbecues and why they're hungry, and there's people talking about traffic things. And the community knows the answers to a lot of it because they're so active on our TikTok, and they've become part of something, and they know the answers. And if they don't know the answers, we jump in and answer them too. It's not just about me talking. It's really it is really a part of a community. And oh yeah, there it is. And if you're not on our TikTok, here's the address for our TikTok. We traffic services there, and it's a constant flow of information. And so Angela, definitely, if you're already on our Discord, but jump in there and we'll get you all set up because you've been here a lot, so we totally support that. Now. Things that looking back at your few years, how many years were you in the program's office?
I believe it was coming up on to 2 years.
Okay.
It was about 2 years, yes.
I was going to say, in and around, whether just above or just below, what would you say the number one thing that comes to mind that you would pass on as the best nugget of information that you would share with people from all this time?
For sure, and we often talk about the 3 E's in terms of engagement: community engagement, education, and enforcement. And up until I came in, or just prior to coming into this office, it was about investigating collisions, it was about enforcement activities, but not as much community engagement or education. And when I came into the office, that was our focus, that was our responsibility, the community engagement and the education part of it all. And I can tell you, we can't do it alone. It requires community, it requires teamwork, moderators, and we need to continue the conversation. It's a shared responsibility, road safety. And that was the biggest learning point for me. And you do influence people through the community engagement, through the education, and the enforcement part of it, unfortunately, is the part where we change driver behavior. Because at the end of the day, that's what we want to do.
And that's sort of like the last resort. Like if we can get people to change their behavior because they want to change it, because they see the value in it, if they start to agree with us and buy into what we're saying because we're bringing facts and knowledge and we're all on the same page because we care about what happens to everybody. If they do it by choice, then you never see the enforcement. The enforcement is that last stage that we didn't get you any other way, and now we're giving you a ticket.
Right. And enforcement doesn't necessarily have to be a uniform officer stopping and investigating a driver and resulting in an enforcement ticket. Enforcement can be done by everybody and anybody. If you're a passenger of a vehicle, whether it's a family vehicle or a work vehicle, and the driver is driving aggressively, speeding, or could be a little bit more careful and considerate of other users on the road, then you can say something. You can have an influence on that driver in that situation and contribute to that road safety as well. So try it next time if you're in the car with mom and dad.
Well, it's funny you say that. Scott Marshall, who's our regular Thursday, well, usually Friday, but we stopped doing Friday shows, so Thursday guy now, and he had other things going on.
Right.
But he often talks about what to do when mom and dad are doing something wrong, and it's that whole when dad holds the cell phone and he's not supposed to. How do you tell dad not to do it? But maybe counting 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, and draw attention to the fact that he's doing something wrong or mom's doing something wrong. I think a lot of us, just in general, we're not aware of everything we do. A lot of it is it's automated. We're doing things because we've always done things, and we're not really aware of our own habits. So drawing attention to those habits really opens people's eyes.
And you mentioned that when you were talking to Scott Marshall there, he was mentioning how parents are modeling to their children all the time, and they're going to pick up on that behavior. If mom and dad roll that stop sign each and every day to school, then guess what? When little Johnny gets their driver's license, they're most likely going to roll that stop sign as well.
Well, and it's because it's been okay, and because it's worked out so far, and just because it's worked out for everybody up until that point doesn't mean it's going to continue in the future. People who are really great drivers have bad days, miss things. It's really a full-time job. Driving, when you're in that seat, it's a full-time job. There should be nothing else going on in your life. Even a phone call, even if on speakerphone, is there some level of distraction? Sure, you're dividing your focus onto two other things. So, it's more than, it's not a simple situation, and there's no simple answer for how to make it better. And that's something you mentioned to me once. It was actually in relation to, before I did my first radio spot, and you'd given me a tidbit to speak to. But it applies in so many ways. It really is. There's no simple answer for a complicated problem. I think it's something to that effect.
There's no simple solution for complex problems and issues. So
yeah, and it's something that's going to take forever to deal with. Look at impaired driving. As long as I've been alive, impaired driving's been a problem, and far longer than I've been alive. But I in high school, I was a member of something called OSED, Ontario Students Against Impaired Driving. It was, and I had friends that were affected. People lost lives when I was in high school to other students in high school, and we're still seeing that problem. So there's always a room. I keep adjusting another camera here. There's always room to improve, and the conversation can never end. It just doesn't go away. And if we close our eyes, which many people don't want to have uncomfortable conversations because it's not comfortable, but when we don't have those things, we allow it and condone it. It can't happen. So that's awesome.
Yeah, impaired driving is one of those offenses where it's 100% preventable, right? It's the operator of a vehicle knows they're going to go out, drink, and maybe if they didn't, they need to have a plan in place. I have 3 boys that are all old enough to drive and drink, and I tell them each and every day, if you guys decide to go out and have a good time, have a plan, have a designated driver. And if you find yourself in a situation and you need a ride home, then you need to pick up the phone and give me a call. And I don't care if it's 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, or if I got work the next day. I'd rather get that phone call, pick you up, get you home safely, than get a different phone call and be dealing with a different scenario.
And that part of that is the discussion. You have that discussion. You make it okay. They know that you want them to get home alive, and you don't care if you interrupt your sleep. And it's just it's been. But so many people are afraid of being judged, or afraid of the consequences of, you were doing something that may be frowned upon or not acceptable in your household. But I guarantee you one thing: no matter what your parents think of drinking or parties, or if you don't make it home alive, their life is finished. Their life will never be the same, regardless of what happens to you. So if you have that conversation, even if it's going to be with some uncomfortable discussion and feelings and maybe some consequences, it's better than not getting it home and changing lives forever. I get chills thinking about the way that families are disrupted, and it just makes me think of the very first video, the really big video, that what started the whole thing with our unit making more video content was the Arrive Alive. It was their annual gala, or what was it, their wrap up meeting. I'm trying to think of the word that describes what it was, but it was for an event for Arrive Alive, and we were contributing. And because of COVID, we couldn't go there in person, so we made a video, and we interviewed officers and had them read excuses that commonly are provided by drivers for why it's okay to drive drunk.
Yes.
And nobody was prepped. Nobody saw the questions in advance. It was live, real reactions on camera. They had 35 of them, and I think we ended up with like 5 or so each, and that's what made it to the final video. In any case, one of our officers, Sean Robertson, read his card and was emotionally affected by that statement. And he says, "This is really personal to me. This is really close to home, because this happened to a friend of mine, and it was a friend of his, a family friend, was just going down the street. She never made it home."
Right.
I imagine, and we haven't had that follow-up conversation, that he's probably a police officer today because of how he was affected by the loss of his friend, because of a drunk driver, because that driver was her. So there you go. So we've had some amazing experiences in the last 2 years working together, and it's been so much stuff. And I'm so proud of the work we've done, and we'll keep it going.
And you'll continue to do.
Yeah, I'm not. There's no quit here. I got to keep the office going. So when you finally decide you want to come back,
So when you get promoted, hopefully they'll keep you there still.
Yeah, maybe. I got some studying to do. There's a promotional
Yeah,
process, and
that's
and
right.
no question. I had that conversation with my wife last night. Further to previous conversations about. So how am I going to do like 200 hours of studying in the next? Yeah, well, we're going to make
In
it happen.
200
I'm going to do it.
in 200 hours of work
Yeah,
in one
yeah,
day. There's
for
not
sure.
400 hours in one day.
I
Just
mean, this
saying.
that you're just dividing how you divide your time. Just it's all about planning.
Maybe
So.
we'll get our road safety partners to continue the conversation while you're away studying for a little bit, Sean.
Well, it's going to be interesting because this week I got one more week here, and then I go away for a course for a week, and I have no idea how I'm going to do. I think
Yeah.
I'm going to be going live from a hotel room.
That'll be a good test run to see what happens while you're
It's-
away. We'll have to fill the gap there.
there you go. Maybe you can, I don't know. Maybe you can work from here for a week. I don't know.
I can help out. I'm
Okay.
going to help out wherever I can. That's what
Well,
I do.
well, from all of us, the mods and everybody who are going to miss having you around every day, even though we've seen you every day since you've been back. Yeah, it's going to be those days off. It's going to be weird. But
Yep.
thank you so much for everything that you've contributed to this office while you were here, and being a great boss. And we had so much fun. And yeah, you're going to be missed, even though
You'll
you're just
still
over there.
Yeah, you'll still see me. I'll still have an opportunity where I can engage the public, provide that public information, timely, accurate information through our social media platforms. But it's just going to be from a different perspective. It'll be from serious collision scenes, providing you that information at the scene, at the time, and provide you updates, particularly to the extent of injuries, road closures, or when we have suspect vehicles, because unfortunately, sometimes there are suspect vehicles that we're looking for, and we're going to reach out to the public for assistance. So I'm a phone call away, I'm a text away, I'm still here.
You're an official correspondent for your platoon, so that's
Yeah,
so we don't lose you. We
absolutely.
just you sit in a different chair. Okay, that's better.
That's
I
right.
feel better
Yep.
about it now.
Yeah, I'm still here, just sitting. I'm still on the bus. I'm just in a different chair.
Awesome.
Yeah.
TPS Bike Cart just made a comment on TikTok because she's on the Voiceover Cop channel, which I'm sort of multi or simulcasting. People can hear you, but they can't see you. And yeah, she says, "What do you mean he's leaving?" So yeah,
Sorry, Aaron, I didn't get a chance to see you yet, but I'll see you out on the road, and we'll still continue doing what we do best, and that's providing information and awareness to keep our roads safe.
he's going to be on a platoon. He's on the platoon. Which platoon are you on?
A platoon, Alpha
A platoon.
platoon.
He's on
Yep.
Alpha. So
My
yeah,
last day off, my last day in, and then I'm off for 6 days. I'm gonna miss you all, but I'll be back on evening shift next Thursday.
yes, and then we're doing some changes too. We're shifting our schedule a bit. So we're the reason we started doing only Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday shows at 10:15 is because Brandon and Brandon's my partner in the office right now, and we're going to be doing 4 on 4 off. We're doing Monday to Thursday, Tuesday to Friday. It's a pilot project up in our office, so we're going to be doing 4-day weeks, and we need to figure out creative ways of keeping in contact. Which means I'm still just going to go live on TikTok every day. But anyway.
Yep. We continue to evolve, we continue to adapt, and we keep trying new things. Oh, somebody's telling me something.
It's
But
that time. It's
yeah.
that time. Well, actually, we said we're going to do 30 minutes. We're at 33 minutes, so we
Well,
should
there you
wrap it
go.
up.
I'll be
But
back.
it's yes.
I'm not going anywhere.
And just before we run away, I just want to make sure that we have anybody in the chat room that has questions that we didn't cover.
Sure.
Joyce says, "Do you feel that the Scared Straight videos would be effective for teens to view while obtaining their driver's licenses, maybe from on-site impaired driving footage?" You make me think of the stuff that I show all the time when I do educational speeches and presentations. I do that with the military a lot, and we look at the stuff that was produced in Australia from the Transport Accident Commission. If you want to see stuff that's amazing, check out their footage that's available on YouTube. And I think that's great stuff. Granted, I found out that someone watched one of those videos and had it triggered them. They had an emotional response.
Right.
It's very hard to look at, but those things that create an emotional response are very effective in winning the hearts and minds of the viewers. And other people say, well, this is all made to make me feel something. This is not real. So it depends. I think it's excellent stuff.
Definitely.
Let's see. Can you? What's this one? Can you get fined for drinking a beer next to a vehicle that's parked and turned off? Is that called care and control or something like that? If you're not in the vehicle?
If you're in the vehicle and there's alcohol readily available to the driver of that vehicle, it may be an offense. It'll be up to the officer investigating that particular incident at the time. So it may be an offense. You may end up getting a ticket for it.
Or a criminal charge, depending?
Right. Yes.
It
If you're the driver of a motor vehicle and you're in care and control of the vehicle and you happen to be impaired, then definitely it'll result in criminal charges.
Yeah, it's a more complicated question. I mean, we talked about RVs. We talked about we have these. One of the greatest things about what we do is that we get to have these great conversations about nothing. This is Seinfeld right here. We have conversations, and someone says, "Well, someone on online asked a question about can I tow a motorhome with a boat and a camper and with my my tickle trunk and I want and a paving
must-
device and."
They must have saw me driving down the highway the other day.
Well, they
I
keep
just made
asking
a point.
questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's amazing. We and then we start. Well, I gotta find out the right answer. And then we find out that the right answer is a very complicated answer. And then we start talking to all the professionals and all the things we talked about. How long do you have to report a collision? Because people say, well, is it 24 or 48 hours? And then we start going down the rabbit hole of, well, what's the right answer? Because we want to give everyone the right answer, and and very often the right answer is complicated, and there's the letter of the law, and then there's what we allow. Because for reporting a collision that's over $2,000, you need to report to police forthwith. What does forthwith mean? How do people interpret that? Well, Toronto Police says on their website 24 hours. Well, why? So what I'm getting at is we have great conversations that end up going in circles and circles because we need to find out the most palatable way of giving information to make sure that you guys don't get into trouble because you're listening to us as a source.
But at the end of the day, as long as we're having a conversation and at some point we're talking about traffic safety and you take something away that may result in there not being a collision or changing behavior and we're making our roads safer, then it's a win-win situation there.
Absolutely. And just from Q, on behalf of the moderators, we miss you, Sarge, and we hope that you stay safe.
Thank you very much, and you guys as well, and thank you for all the help that you do as volunteers and moderators, helping out Sean, the Traffic Services channel, and again, spreading that news, that information, the education, the awareness around road safety, because at the end of the day, again, our goal is to reduce the number of seriously injured and killed collisions on our roads.
Absolutely. And just to take us out with a thing, today the moderators that were on screen were dancing and waving and trying to get my attention while I was on the Jerry Agar show.
I didn't see that. Yes.
You didn't see that?
I didn't see the dancing and waving part.
Well, here's the thing. The question came in from a caller and said, after a no U-turn sign, how far after that sign can you not perform a U-turn? And I had no answer. Do you have the answer?
I know it. Or used to know it.
I used to know lots of things. I've forgotten.
I'm gonna have to look that one up and come back on the channel.
Well, here's the thing. They helped me out.
100 meters. What was it?
150 meters. And thank you very much to the moderators. You did the math. You did 150 and you put it together. There you go. And I was like, my first reaction was, I know this. It's going to be 150, but if I say it and it's wrong, somebody's going to say it, and then they're going to get a ticket. So I'm going to say I don't know. And then all this time they're sitting here doing this dance, saying and I look down in the chat, and there it is.
There it was.
So they really
I went with the safe one. It could be 50, it could be 100. Well, look at that. It added up to 150.
There you go.
50 meters from an intersection. There you go.
So as we wrap up, a couple of things to share. If you are on Twitter, we do a lot of Twitter, and that address to find us on Twitter, it's Traffic Services. We have stuff on the Instagram, the Gram. We don't go live on the Gram, but we have stuff that goes up on the Gram, usually advertising our lives. That's Traffic Services Toronto. We have YouTube, and we love subscribers. Have we mentioned we love subscribers? If you're watching us on YouTube, please follow us and subscribe to that channel. Hit the bell so we get alerted. You get alerted when we drop new content. It's good for the algorithm. It helps us out. If you are on the TikTok, I don't know why I'm saying. I watch too many of these. What's the? I don't know. There's some cartoon, and the alien on the cartoon always talks with the before everything. So I'm watching too many cartoons with my kids. Traffic Services on TikTok, it's where we spend the most amount of time. It really is the focus of our energy. It's where the vast majority of our followers are, and you'll see it there first. So if you don't have TikTok, you should be on TikTok. You'll find us on TikTok at Traffic Services. I'm there with the voiceover cop channels and all these things, but that's not important. What's important is Traffic Services. And of course, once again, Discord. You can jump on our Discord server and carry the conversation with a group of friends who care about traffic safety. I'm there. YYZ Traffic Cop's there. Sarge is there. We're all there. We're talking about stuff and things. So come hang out with us. In any case, it's been a day, and thank you again, Sarge, for hanging out. And
thank you for what you do and everybody else behind the scenes here. Again, I can't reiterate it enough. Continuing the hard work that you do, the important work that you do to make our roads safer.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much. Listen, have a wonderful day. Stay safe, everybody. We'll be back on Tuesday on this show, the 10:15 show. We'll be
I'll be
back on
off.
Tuesday. He will not be here because he's going to be enjoying something other than work. And we're on the TikTok every day, and at least posting content. And we'll be live we'll be live tomorrow. I'll probably be doing this from my backyard tomorrow. Because I don't believe anybody. But anyway.
Send me a link. I'll tune in.
Okay, sounds good. Everyone,
Okay.
have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care, everybody.